Hello, my little sexual healers. I am so sorry, but we don't have a full episode for you today. What we do have, though, is this mini ep that Christina and I recorded after Daniel Van Kirk's episode. If you need any reference, frame of reference for anything that we're talking about here, specifically the beauty tips, you're going to want to listen to Daniel Van Kirk's episode, Rum Chata. Y'all, your calls are very important to making this show. 323-450-7408. You can always email us a voice note or a letter to askpleaseadvise@gmail.com. We can't do this show without you, man. We're not saying we're like super hard up, but we're kind of hard up. In fact, we're doing an iTunes giveaway for the absolute best call that we get in the very near future. If you leave a message on the phone line or a voice note, definitely leave the password Franklin so we know that you are submitting this as your craziest best problem to win a $15 iTunes card. No trolling. We're not dumbos. You guys, we're going to have such good shows in the fall. I mean, winter, New Year, whatever. Daniel Van Kirk's coming back. We have Jenna Kim Jones coming on. We have my friend Katie Sloan, who is a special needs teacher, who's going to tell me why I need to stop saying the R word. I know. We have some people. I'm trying to arrange a little Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules situation. Oh, Julie Bush, who I'm really obsessed with. Y'all got to read Julie Bush's article. She wrote it on her blog. It's like what you're really saying to a powerful, successful woman when you contact her. It's like, we're going to tweet it if we haven't tweeted it from Please Advise already. We'll just tweet it again when we air this. I'm just talking to myself, you guys. I've had a really long 2 weeks. I love America, and I love you. Bye. All right, so now we know the contour struggle is real, but it doesn't have to be. We know that sparkly pink, great color for lips. Also red, flirty, fun, fab. We know that liquid eyeliner eludes almost everybody, but if you keep practicing, you'll figure it out. These are things we knew. Something you didn't know was that Christina and I are about to become makeup artists, professional makeup artists, and we'll do your prom. We will do your prom for $60 a head. Christina and I will come down, do your group of girlfriends. What is it, Malibu High School prom's coming up?
I don't know if we can do Malibu, maybe like Monrovia or Cerritos.
I'll tell you, Malibu had the Hangover was their prom theme 2 years ago for Malibu High School.
I didn't have a theme for my prom.
Malibu High School's prom, I want you to think about this.
All right. I gotta let it marinate in my brain.
Their theme was the Hangover. I don't know about you, but when I went to prom, they put a wrecked car covered in toilet paper, alcohol, all sorts of things on the lawn of our school and said, this is what happens if you drink on prom night. But out in Malibu, where there's twisty turns, I don't even like to drive there sober, to be frank. They're calling their high school prom the Hangover. Now, granted, all of them are a bunch of Bella Hadid excluded. I think a bunch of these teenagers out in Malibu can get the limo that they want, need, and deserve at any given time, plus Uber. I mean, in a time before Uber, do you even know the money I paid for a long...
You probably have private drivers or whatever.
I know,
not even
seriously.
Uber. Yeah.
They're
like, ooh, Uber's for poor people.
No, it's like their dad's new wife that also has been shut out of the family already because he's fucking some new girl, but she still lives in the house, so she has to drive the kids everywhere, but she's not a real person. That's who's driving them to prom. But Christina and I will come out and do your makeup, you guys.
Yeah.
For $60 a head. You can also fly us to your birthday. I want to put that out there. I want to be flown to your birthday. I won't even do your makeup, but what I will do is be a connoisseur of the open bar and speak to almost anybody and be a fun, friendly party guest. I bring the extrovert, as you've heard in my conversations with both Christina and Dan today. Daniel. That's his name, Daniel. We're around and we want to service you.
That sounds wrong.
We're
not in that prison moment yet.
We're not at the prison moment yet, but we will service you makeup wise. Christina and I are full. I don't care if Christina doesn't go. Christina might bail on me. She has a real job. I actually am going to fucking makeup school. So if you can get your head behind this,
I'm kind of desperate to learn how to like make my face look nice.
Well, first of all, you actually do. I will say, and I'm just not. Christina and I sometimes have these moments on the pod. B is recording now, by the way. The HPNIC has been IC for the last couple minutes. She's recording this portion of the pod.
Yeah, it's weird not to like be in the driver's seat.
I know. I'm like, what? Okay, no, but you do, Christina, when you, especially because Christina's naturally curly hair that's very pretty. She's very sedated, pretty curl, whereas opposed to me, I'm like carrot top. Like she's just like, Christina, when she pulls herself together, you know how to do it very well.
Oh, thanks. I always feel like I never do enough on the makeup front.
And Diana, me and Diana say, Chrissy, put some lipstick on.
Yeah.
What about some lipstick and some earrings?
Yeah, no,
You never know who you're gonna meet.
My mom is really good about putting on her makeup, and I could never learn from her because we have very different complexions.
Right.
She's very she's olive skin, and I'm a little bit more caramel colored.
Yes.
So yeah,
you're caramely complected.
Yeah. That song was about me, Molly.
Girl, you are.
Yeah. 5'7" and everything. So I never learned growing up just because I could never use her makeup because it made me look like a ghost.
Right.
So
you can't use her makeup. I do remember the day that Shauna took me to CVS after I had been expressing interest in makeup for quite some time. And I said, Mom, like, just the way that like I had to kind of break the ice with the bra thing, where I was like, everyone in gym class has bras, but I don't. I had to say all the girls at school wear makeup, but I don't. Like, can I have some makeup? And my mom took me to CVS in Lexington, Massachusetts, right in the center. And she let me get a powder and a lipstick and an eyeliner and a clear mascara.
Oh, wow.
And that was like, and of course, like, I don't know, she kind of like taught me to be very light about it. She didn't really tell me how to use it. But I remember that actually being a very bonding moment for my mom and I, in which she like bought me makeup for the first time. But my mom is like, as I said on the call, like, my mom is like, has always been the hot one in the family. Like Shauna's like the hottie in the family. And like, I remember the guy that I had a crush on junior year. He was so fucking like cute. And he was in my French class because he was stupid. And because I was 2 years younger than him, he shouldn't have been in my French. But he was in my French class and he said to me in class one day, "Damn, Molly, who was that girl you were walking with yesterday?" And I said, "It was my mother." And then she goes, well, does your mom tutor French?
Oh, damn.
Okay, so when you grow up with that sort of thing happening to you from time to time, or people just like constantly being like, you know how it is when people are
my
like,
mom and I got
oh,
the sisters thing for a
yeah.
while.
Oh, do you know Dennis Rodman tried to get my mother and I in a menagerie at the Standard Hotel downtown?
What?
Dennis Rodman tried to get my mother and I in the Ménage at the Standard downtown. My mom, I have never, because it was her first time in LA, visiting me outside of like her panicking the first time she dropped me off here. And she came out and we had a night at the Standard. We drank drinks. We had fun. You know, Ed was smooching the manager, so he got a discount. And, we get it as he does. No, but he doesn't. But
no, he doesn't.
But it was like it was actually kind of remarkable because it's the only time I've ever seen him do something. So I'm like, Ed, for hummus, really? For hummus and 3 vodka sodas. But so we get in the elevator and I hear my mother do something I've never heard her do. We get in the elevator. We see what is undoubtedly a Dennis Rodman. Undoubtedly a Dennis. Like you see him and he's someone that you're like, oh, that's Dennis Rodman. Mother goes, oh, hello. Oh, hello. That is the weirdest thing. The weirdest.
She turned British for 2 seconds?
It was like, hello. Hello. And I was like, because I know what it was, is that my mother was faced with a 7-foot man with a bleach blonde fro who had nose rings, tattoos, like some sort of t-shirt on, who was surrounded by a bunch of like younger white guys that all kind of look like Kurt Cobain. Like they all kind of look like Kurt Cobain. And he was like, so what are you doing tonight? And we're like, just going home. And he's like, so you like use two sisters? And we were like, no, we're mother-daughter. He's like, oh, mother-daughter, right? So he's like into it.
Do you think he's probably had it before? Like,
for sure.
Oh, man.
You know that because actually Morgan Murphy told me she saw a mother-daughter strip team. So we go outside. We're at the valet. My mother has, helloed. And I'm like now downstairs by the valet making fun of my mom going, what was that hello? Like literally, because like that's what you experienced when you first moved here. We said that in the episode with Amy Kaufman. Like you just kind of are a dork all the time because you cannot believe what's happening around you at any given point. But then one of the Kurt Cobain looking guys came over to my mom and I and was like, so where are you guys going tonight? So like you want to, and I was like, oh, so this is continued. So Dennis has dispatched one of his little like stupid friends to come over and like collect my mother and I for what would undoubtedly be a menagerie at hopefully the Polo Lounge, hopefully the Beverly Hills Hotel. We go for drinks in the Polo Lounge, and then he treats us to a double bang, whatever you call it in the business. But I forgot about that moment. I was 24. That was a wild time. You guys, pre-order my book, The Alcoholic Bitch Who Ruined Your Life. If I haven't convinced you yet that I have some interesting stories to tell, well, there you go.
I've actually been admiring the organic ways you've been plugging this book.
Thank you. Well, because it just ties in.
Yeah.
Like it ties in with my advice, which is just that like, you don't have to pre-order it. You can buy it now. By the time it's there, you're just fucking pressing and reading.
You should have already bought it.
Yeah, you should have bought it. And like, by the way, I know how many of you guys are listening to this shit. And unless that's all Tina the Diva listening 5,000 times, I need to be pushing more units. I'm not saying my book sales are bad. In fact, I would say that they are pretty great for an ebook. I know a lot of books that are in print that are doing worse than mine. But I will say that I think that more of you should have purchased this at $6. I know you guys are out there getting drunk, paying for tokens on tarot.com, buying tokens for sex cam people, as I've heard from some of our listeners. Tokens for sex cam tips. You tip for a little dick that you just seen on the internet. And it's a little show.
Hopefully it's not little if you're paying for it.
I know, right? Or maybe they're into that.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Dennis Rodman has his fetish for a little Irish-American mother-daughter porn. That sounds so unappealing as I say it. I'm like, can I think of a less appealing combination of Irish-American mother-daughter porn? I know. I like literally a disaster. Like we're both like also like crying, shaming ourselves and drinking heavily from the mini bar while fighting over what a disaster this is. And also, I've seen my mom naked, but I don't want to do that again. Like I was a child when I saw my mother naked. And by the way, I will say in my adult years,
it'll probably happen in your later adult years.
I saw her naked last time I went home. I don't think she's ashamed, but like
I was talking about this with someone. Like at some point in your life, I think it's like in your 50s, you just like stop giving fucks and you don't care who sees what.
She's the titties be out.
Yeah,
you're like the titties be out. But here's the thing, my mother, unless she has, and I will even say, I feel that there might be a perverse drive in her to ensure that, like, I don't know, like what my parts are intact. I don't know. But like occasionally from time to time, like she'll burst in the room when she knows I'm taking a bath.
Oh my God, my mom does that too.
And I'm like, because I'm like, I don't want you to like, I don't want you to see my vag stitch. Like, I don't want you to see my boobs. Like, they're fine. It's all fine.
And my mom will say something like, oh, what? I have that. I'm like, no, you don't.
And also, no,
this is 28.
This is me. And also, this is me. And you're my mom. And like, I love you. And I want to watch Real Housewives with you. And I don't want you to see my vagina like the laser hair removal lady. That like, it's like, she is not my friend. You are my friend, mom. And you're also my mom. But like, we have not been in a stage where it has been necessary for you to view my vagina for at least 24 years now. Like, maybe up to 8, 9, 10. Like maybe I get really sick. Like you're really sick and you're vomiting and maybe have something and your mom has to put you in a cold tub. Maybe. But I will just speak as a person who does not like to show my nudeness. There's not a reason for it because I know anyone who wants to see you nude is probably enjoying it.
Yeah, you would hope so.
But I don't know. Like, I have to make it I think my grandmother made it a strong goal to never see her children naked, which has made it my mom's strong goal to be able to have that comfortable relationship with me, which has made it my strong role to let my child know that they literally never have to worry about me looking at them naked past the point that they're like, Mom, like I'm 7 and there's like something on my vagina. Is this okay? Like that is like the last time sex talk. Like I want to keep it brief, keep the words scientifically accurate, yet effective.
We're getting totally off track here.
I'm just saying. I think this is like something we should just slam dunk that because this is, I know if you and I have literally both, and Diana and Shauna are the same, and this is why we knew. This is why you and I knew because we are the byproducts of those women, like to a T.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy because you and I could not be more different, but our mothers are so similar,
I
but
know.
also so different.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. That is really interesting, especially because it's like, I always assume like, oh, there's like a single mother element to it, but like your dad and mom couldn't be closer. Like they're the cutest couple I've ever seen.
I know, they're really adorable. I love
my
them.
mom's in a great relationship with her husband now. But when I was growing up, she didn't have that. And so I always assumed like, oh, her bursting in on me is like, this is what Gilmore Girls is about and why I feel disconnected to it. Like I could never connect to Gilmore Girls because I was just like, even though these people are different but the same, like that's not what it's like.
Yeah.
And so I thought like maybe that's the Gilmore Girls piece that I'm not getting. But it just turns out that our moms are probably extroverts. Our moms are probably extroverts.
No,
and that's
my mom is definitely an extrovert for sure. And like, I don't know how I came to be this little introvert.
Well, I think it's a byproduct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is your brother an introvert or extrovert?
I think he's definitely an extrovert, I guess. Yeah.
I think you're right.
Because he's a teacher. So.
I think, your brother definitely right. Like, I'm sure he can be introverted at home, but I remember when we were in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was in a really bad mood because of work.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I had just gotten like an explosive email and I was in a really bad mood. Like it changed my mood. And your brother kept like digging me out of it. Like he kept being like, don't worry about it. Like, it's just like a work email. And I was like, but you don't understand. Because I was like,
oh, that's so funny because he does the same to me.
Yeah. And he really like.
He's good about that.
Yeah. Your brother's good. So we'll get Shauna on.
Yeah.
And then we got to get Diana on because
she's more interesting than me. For people who like don't see it for me on this podcast, my mother is significantly more interesting than I am.
But you and I both rock this attitude where we're like, because I have long known. Like someone said to me once, "Your mom is so pretty and entertaining." I said, "Duh, she's my fucking secret weapon." I was like, anyone who doesn't like me gets sucked in by Shauna. Yeah. Like I'm like, if you don't care for this one, you're like at least like, how did this fucking troll come from that wonderful woman?
That's what I get a lot. Yeah.
Can I share a story?
Yes, babe.
She's a MILF. She's always been the MILF. She's the hot one.
Why do we have a table of MILFs?
I don't know, but
Come from that wonderful woman. So,
can I share a story about my mom?
yes, babe.
She's a MILF. She's always been the MILF. She's the hot one in my
traditional
my
Christmas meal.
I don't know, but
For her it is.
because thank you for my jeans, Mom. But we were at a market. We were sitting waiting for. It was Christmas time. We were waiting for our tamales to come out ready. And this boy, yes, this young man who I could be dating, he said he was about 22. He comes up to us. I'm thinking he's going to ask me for my number. He asked my mom for her number. I'm salty over here, just sitting here like, wait, I'm closer to age. And actually, I was older than him.
But can I be real with you? How old are you,
asking,
HBNIC?
You're asking me who I
Okay,
have a daughter
so you
who's
still
older than
look
you.
illegal
Like,
to
I'll
me.
take your number. Thank you. It was so sweet. I'm just sitting here like, oh my God, she still has it. Like,
But can I be real
bless.
with you? How old are you, HBNIC?
25.
Okay, so you still look illegal to me. Like, I'd be like 15 gets you 20. Just looking at you in a good way.
Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
But I know that that's very damaging.
It's crazy. It's never happened before. And now that I'm like single and I'm just like, whoa.
I've been told I am incredibly unapproachable.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah.
Somebody told me that I'm intimidating.
Exactly. And by the way, that is the trait of an insecure person. Whenever someone's like, you're intimidating, I'm like, me?
I'm like, I just have resting bitch face. I'm not
like,
intimidating.
No, not even resting bitch face. It's like this thing that you put on if you feel insecure. Like you just know to default to this attitude in order to like walk through your neighborhood to get home or to like get through the night at the bar, like with all these people that you don't know. Like you just put on this persona. And I have been told so many times by guys in my like mid to late 20s, I would have asked you out, but you just seemed like you didn't want to talk to anyone. And I go out and I'm much less defensive. So no, it's not that like people like hit on me. I just feel like I am the least approachable when I am the most available because I'm trying so hard to like just be strong.
Yeah. Well, I think I just had my Oprah aha moment.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, Christina, you gotta are you gonna go home? Are you gonna widen that Tinder net tonight? You're gonna go to 30 miles even, maybe a little bit of a 30 mile.
It's set at like 10 right now.
Yeah, no, please. Trust me, when I had to sign up for Match.com that one time that I had no humility and I joined for a week. Sorry, no offense to everyone who does that, but like I couldn't like I was afraid that people would be like, oh, that young girl who used to do videos for Defamer is now an old like lady who's afraid to have a photo of herself on Match.com. Like I really went on a mental journey with that has a lot to do with my ego. But I was down to like 5 miles. Like I was like, I don't even actually, if I could do a 1 mile, that'd be ideal.
Yeah.
That's my grinder is great.
You could probably get away with a 1 mile situation in New York City, but in LA, it has to be at least 5 to 10.
Yeah. But you know what 10 miles is?
Santa Monica.
Koreatown to Santa Monica.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm like.
And would you ever? Would you ever? Like you have to be like literally one time I thought a man was in love with me because he drove from Echo Park to Venice Beach to meet me. And I was like, well, obviously that means he's in love with me because like why would, and he didn't even like me as a person, I think. But it was like, I was like, only a person who's in love with another person would drive from Echo Park to Venice Beach to hang out.
I love driving, so it wouldn't bother me.
No, you would. Yeah. You like to do the whole.
Yeah, I'd just sing a couple musicals and I'd be fine.
Yeah. What do you sing in the car?
Which musicals?
You know.
What's
our favorite?
Oh man, definitely West Side Story. I do an America in the car.
Our favorite.
Which one is our favorite? I'm not sure.
In the Heights.
Oh,
girl.
In the Heights.
Come
yes.
on.
Yes.
Christina and I went to see In the Heights together, fucking bawled our eyes out, but like
we were crying by the second song.
No, oh my God. I was
crying by the second song.
I'm glad I wasn't alone in that because I was the one who cried in the Gap after we saw the Muppet movie. And so I like know that I'm the sensitive bitch in the relationship. Yeah. I'm glad you cried too. Like that was like
we were both like crying. Like I cried at several songs on In the Heights and I'm dying to see his new show at Hamilton. Hopefully if I go to New York City later this year.
Lin-Manuel's a genius. And shout out to Tommy Kail. He did 2 episodes of Two Broke Girl. I think maybe 3 episodes of Two Broke Girls.
Yeah.
And he was the original director for In the Heights. But
that soundtrack like has saved me so many times just because I get homesick a lot. And, you know, there's not a lot of other Puerto Ricans here in LA. So, you know, when I need that familiarity, I revisit that soundtrack a lot because they make a lot of reference to that, like the culture and like being in New York and growing up and like being like that person who made it out.
And I'm actually getting chills literally thinking about it. Like I'm getting chills thinking about it because it's so like when you're there, I have no exposure to musical theater. So I always say like, I do like, I saw the Nutcracker performed by the Boston Ballet probably every year of my life, which is one of like the finest productions of the Nutcracker in history all the time. But, well, sort of. But I have not a lot of exposure to the theater. So I compare every time I go to the theater, I'm like, think about a person who has seen 6 movies in their life.
Oh, okay.
Every musical I see is going to be kind of amazing to me just because I haven't seen that many.
Oh, see, like I'm super picky when it comes to musicals because I grew up in New York, so I've seen a lot of original Broadway shows. I saw Wicked with Idina Menzel and Kristen Chenoweth.
Girl.
Yeah.
Wait, what did we see together that was Ceremony? No, not Ceremony. Seminar.
Yes.
Seminar
Yes.
was, okay, Christina.
No, that was dope.
We saw Seminar together. That was kind of a magical night.
It was everything to me because I love the theater. When I was in high school, I was in this theater development program where I saw 6 original Broadway shows with the producers of the show. So the theater has been really important to me in my life in general. So every time I go back to New York, I see a show, whether it's with my family or with someone I'm going with. And Molly was like, I can get tickets to Seminar. And you can take
I bought them through my agency and they were so expensive. They were so expensive because it's Alan Rickman's like second to last
I didn't know
show.
you had like, you bought them. I thought you got them.
When you buy tickets, like people don't understand this. Like some people get like obviously like big stars that mean things get free tickets to like Lakers games and concerts and stuff like that. But like your agency most likely holds aside like a certain number of tickets because someone involved in the production, whether the talent, whatever, is represented by your agency.
Okay.
So they held aside a certain amount of Seminar tickets for clients at WME, and I was able to get two. I was able to get 2, but it was like high press because it was like second to last night of Alan Rickman doing the show, and to the point where Jeff Goldblum, who took over his role, was in the audience the night that we were there.
And there were orchestra seats.
With Lydia Hurst.
Yeah.
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 We got good seats.
I didn't know you paid for them. I would have
paid out of pocket, bitch.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I owe you
treat,
for the rest of my life.
Honey, you put me up in a haunted attic for a week. Right? That was a big deal.
Yeah. It wasn't haunted. I just told you it was because I was fucking with you.
No, it was haunted. It was haunted. Keep going.
No, it was your it.
But you were saying that was a sick night for you. Why?
Oh, it was great because the show was really good. Teresa Rebeck writes really great plays. She did Smash, which was the not so great NBC show about theater, which I loved anyway. But whatever. Sidetrack.
Camp.
Yeah, so it was Jerry O'Connell in the cast. It was Lily Rabe, who was in American Horror Story.
Yeah. And like I died when I saw her on American Horror Story, like not 6 months later, because I was like, oh fuck, we were with her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So jumping ahead a little bit, but and Alan Rickman, they were all great. Everyone was fantastic. So then Molly texted. I don't know if you want me to tell this part of the story.
I had no idea that Jerry O'Connell was in the play. And I have known Jerry through my friend Jordan Rubin for several years now. And he's like a quote unquote fan of the Malls brand. Even Rebecca Romaine follows me on Twitter.
I didn't know that.
Kind of a big deal. I know. It's like she favorited something of mine the other day and I like almost passed out because I was like, girl, like I love you. But yeah, so I saw Jerry step out on the stage and I was like, what the fuck? Like, I was like, it's fucking Jerry's on the stage.
Grabbed my shoulder. I was like, what's going on?
I was like, what? Cause, like normally when you see someone that you know they're going to be there. And when the person's on the stage in front of you and you're like, oh, this has been a part of your life and you've been preparing for this.
This also addresses like malls. Malls can be a little bit oblivious sometimes because Jerry's photo was like in the front by the posters. His name was his name was like on the marquee and he was in the playbill, which she probably didn't read.
No,
but yeah,
by a lot of people's standards, I care about all the wrong things. Like I was like, okay, so I know that we can bring drinks to our seats in a plastic cup, but who's in this? So I didn't know anything.
I had read like all the actor profiles in the playbill and everything by the time she
right.
happened.
So I texted Jerry or I DM'd him and then he gave me his number. I texted him and we wound up going down the street to where the cast was drinking every night after the shows. Like, I mean, I don't know that they drank every night, but it was like their place where they'd go get drinks. Of course, like Jerry treats us to drinks all night long, like a total pro. We are treated like we are sitting with the cast all night long drinking.
It was so great.
It was so great. You and I got so fucking, well, I don't know how drunk you got.
I didn't get very drunk, but you got definitely drunk.
I got blitzed.
No,
and I
know,
remember
I was like, we have to get you food in you.
That's why I will never eat Shake Shack again.
Yeah, I know. That was my mistake.
I remember going to Shake Shack and singing several verses of N-words in Paris to the cashier and him really loving it. And getting I got a Pinot Grigio at Shake Shack.
You did.
And I think a shake and a burger. And then Christina and I had to ride the subway home. And this was a musical moment for me because I remember I was singing on the street.
I have a video of that still.
What was I singing, Christina?
My mouth tastes like chicken. My mouth tastes like chicken. All the bitches love me. All the bitches love me, or something like that. I watch the video every now and again just because it brings me pure joy.
Christina, like, legit, like, kept me alive on the subway back to Brooklyn.
That's why I knew I couldn't get drunk, because I was like, oh man, I'm gonna have to keep everyone alive.
But here's the thing: is that it was like, look, it's very exciting. It's an adrenaline rush when you go to the theater at all.
Yeah.
When I went to the Bodyguard the musical alone in London, I had one tropical drink that tasted like cotton candy between intermission, and I went back to my seat and cried as if like I had been given the family I always deserve. Like, I was like, it was the most emotional thing.
Yeah, Seminar was really like, it hit home for me a little bit.
I was weeping because I was like, it's so true. Like, when you're hard, like, it was ugly. It was an ugly cry. Like, I went full blown Oprah ugly cry.
I don't think it was it wasn't like Kim Kardashian level ugly.
I would say, but which is worse than Oprah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
but it was a good one. And so that was that makeup call.
Yeah.